So many people, they hear about the names of the Sefirot and they don't really understand what does it mean. Kéter, Jojmá, Biná, Jesed, Guevurá, Tiferet, Netzaj, Yesod y Maljut. What do you do with all of those terms? And what I'm saying now is not only about the Sefirot, it's like a general way of how the learning of the Kabbalah is happening. And to my humble opinion, it's not only about the Kabbalah, it's basically about anything. So my understanding is that the first thing is that we are creating boxes in our mind. Meaning, you learn that there is 10 Sefirot, and you have the names of the 10 Sefirot, like I said, right? And you don't know what is there, what is the meaning of that, but you know that there is, let's say, 10 boxes, that the first box is called Kéter, second box is, okay, so what did you get here? You got a certain order, you made order in your mind of what is first, what is after, and so you're starting to put those boxes in a certain order. Sometimes you're changing the order, okay? But what is the content within the box? What is the understanding? So every concept of Kabbalah, and again, I think anything in life, can have many meanings. And as long as while you're learning, and like sometimes you see like a wonderful concept, and then the book will say, and this is what the Mekubalim called Kéter, for example. So then you know all of that article I put in that box that is called Kéter, right? And slowly you have more content within those boxes. And obviously you have to organize like the content within every box. Like you have sometimes like all kinds of ideas about a certain concept, that some of the ideas are contradicting one another. Right. So sometimes it's like how does it work? Yeah. Like what do I do with it? Okay, fine. But I know that both of them are within that box. How they coming together, I don't know yet. But I put both of them in this box, right? And slowly within the process of the learning, so you get more and more information about each one of the concepts. So let's say just to explain that each one of those concepts, you can literally make a whole book just to explain this one concept. Yeah, you can write like a whole book about like what is Kéter.
I was afraid that was the answer.
Okay, but the fact that every concept is infinitely wide. And every concept of the Torah is infinitely wide, because the Torah is infinitely wide. So you take a piece of infinitely, or something infinite. That piece is infinite by definition, right? So you can't prop it up. Okay, you can't say like this is it and that's it. There's no There's no more of that. There's always more of that. You can always extend your understanding, your relation to those concepts, and that's a life project. As long as we're alive, and also after we passed away in this world, we still keep on learning in the next world. So through our existence, physical and spiritual, we're going through this process of bringing more and more content to those concepts, which is basically the way that we are building our inner world. Okay? So before we finish, I just want to give like some kind of a to say something about the Kéter, because that was the beginning of the question. So Kéter is intermediary. Why? Because the quality of Kéter contains within it something that comes from above. Okay? So you can call it the lowest of the highest. And it has within it also the highest of the lowest. Okay? So it has those two qualities together. So let's say, for example, you're asking what is the connection between the world of Atzilut and the world of Bria. What is the answer? That the Kéter of the Bria is the connection, because it has part of the world above, Atzilut, for example. Okay, so that's the lowest of the highest.
Right.
And it has also within it the highest of the lowest, meaning the highest of the Bria. Okay? So both of those things together, when they are coming together, this is Kéter. So in a certain way, it's not part of that system that you're talking about. You're talking about a certain system, and then you say, this is the Kéter of that system. So that's on top of that. Right? Like, what is the literal translation of Kéter is a crown.
Right.
So the crown is part of the king, is on top of the king. You put it on top of the king, right?
Yeah.
So that's Kéter, something that comes on top. It's not exactly part of the structure. It relates to the structure, but it's not really part of the structure. So Bezrat Hashem will hold it here for that, and Bezrat Hashem to be continued with the other concepts of the Kabbalah in the next time, with the help of Hashem. Bracha v'atzlacha.